Welcome to another episode of the Devils Down Under. I'm your host Bryce, where we talk about the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, as well as match breakdowns, analysis, and thoughts on of the games just gone by in the week. So in today's episode we're going to talk about Man United played their first pre-season friendly against Liverpool. We've also apparently made our second signing. Fabrizio Romano said, "Yeah, we go." So Martinez looks like he's on our way to us, as well as updates around Ronaldo, Frankie De Jong, as well as I said Ronaldo, Frankie De Jong as well. Let's get into it. First things first, the tour has got underway in Bangkok. Man United played Liverpool. We won 4-0. Going to take that win every day of the week. Probably the only game we're going to win this season against them, because they've obviously played a big variations of teams to what they would be playing in the season. But look, first things first, 4-0 win. We change teams at halftime. They change it every 30 minutes, but we're going to take the win every day of the week. So, a bit of thoughts on the matches. The first half, the first thing we noticed with Ten Hag in charge, a lot more touchline coach than Solskjaer, who used to sit there on his little iPad or booklet, talking to Mike Phelan over here, Michael Carrick over here. Ten Hag's barking instructions from the sidelines. What I love to see, a manager getting involved with everything on the sidelines. A lot more pressing, all the way from the high line of defense, all the way to up front, especially with Martial, Sancho, and even Rashford, putting pressure on with those three active mobile forwards. So it is good to see in terms of that. Obviously, a lot more progressive passing was seen as well. A lot of forward passes being played. There were still a few where we were trying to retain possession and holding on to it in the back. And I think that's more so a deficit of McTominay and McFred, where they aren't able to take that ball off the back line and progress it forward in the quick manner that we're looking to do under Ten Hag, for my thoughts at least, what we're thinking to do. Obviously we changed our team in the second half. The two big standouts from that, we were under a lot of pressure. Obviously, Liverpool mostly played their first 11 in the second half, so it was a very different game to playing our second string / juniors, basically. Iqbal Zidane, as well as Charlie Savage in the middle of the park. I would have loved to have seen them actually play in the first half with everyone else around them. Ball retention, there was crisp passing, as well as under pressure. There was one where I think it was Zidane Iqbal. He's getting pressed by Fabinho and pirouetted around him like a ballerina on ice. It was really nice to see that. Everything else we didn't really get forward too much in the game. There's a lot of junior players, so it was good to see. I mean, we still won the half 1-0, but I wouldn't put anything past it being pre-season. So it's good to see 4-0, a few new players, a few new faces. Would have been nice to see James Garner obviously playing, but from what I read after the reports, he's injured currently, which is a bit of a shame because we do need another midfielder currently. Obviously, Frankie De Jong's dragging on. We'll see what happens down the line and what happens to the game tonight. There's a game in a few hours in Melbourne against Melbourne Victory. 4.5 hours from now. So, it'll be interesting to see. Even Ten Hag came out saying in his press conference yesterday that it's going to be a very different game to the Liverpool game. Obviously, Melbourne Victory couldn't hold anything against Liverpool. Fitness-wise, and it'd be good to see, obviously, another implementation of the pressing and the type of football Ten Hag's looking to play, more so than the result, and obviously the quality of the opposition they're playing, which isn't going to be great. It was nice to get it off with a win, and a few more games to come in Australia now, time zone wise. Not going to be as tired at 1 a.m. waking up to look at games, but I do look like I have a few bags under my eyes. Got a newborn, so that's keeping me plenty busy day and night, and so do excuse the bags under the eyes, especially last week. I had a few comments on that, but there's nothing I could do with a newborn, and bundle of joy she is. So moving on. Another thing that just got released a few hours ago. Fabrizio Romano finally said, "Here we go." It seems like Manchester United is about to sign Lisandro Martinez, the Argentinian beast, Pitbull as they called him in the the Netherlands, and it seems like the deal's about to go through for a guaranteed £46 million from Ajax. Intermediaries and everything spoke over the last 48 hours between Ajax and Man United, and it seems like that's about to go through. So obviously, everyone has their reservations about his height and why that's probably why top teams haven't signed him. On the ball, as I talked about last week, headers won percentages because of positioning and timing of jumps and tenaciousness in the tackle. Three key standouts for me. So, and knows Ten Hag's system. He was rated Ajax's Player of the Season, as well as I'm pretty sure the Eredivisie's Player of the Season last year. So he's no slouch either. 24 years old, well regarded within the Netherlands and obviously Argentina as well. So the one thing that stood out for me, obviously people have been comparing Martinez and saying, oh, we should have got Timber. And yes, I agree, Timber's probably got a higher ceiling than Martinez, but we were too slow to act on that, so we kind of stuck with what we got. But the more and more I look into things about him, the more and more excited I'm getting. One of these quotes that's popped up in the last few days, it's something Timber actually said after a game in the Netherlands back in February, and he said, sometimes I get a little too casual on the pitch, but then Lisandro Martinez immediately notices it and starts shouting and swearing at me. So it's all good. Can't wait for him to be barking orders at Maguire. Varane probably not so much, but I can't wait for him to bark orders at Maguire. And Maguire looking all lost. And all his little stern face that he pulls. And it's going to be good. Hopefully he can replace Maguire on that left-sided centre-back pairing with Varane. Obviously, I wouldn't even mind trying him out with Lindelof, because Lindelof seemed to do quite well in that high pressure line. And obviously, under pressure, he's quite good, but we do know he's prone to mistakes here and there as well. But yeah, so excited to get our second dealings over the line. Other ones from the updates during the week, obviously Eriksen, people complaining, saying, oh, there must be an issue with it, the medical's taking too long. The guy literally had a heart attack on the field a year ago. Medicals, in anything's related to the heart, is not going to be something that's done in a few hours like most medicals. There's a lot more stringent tests that need to be done. Obviously talking to cardiologists, talking to everything else that have dealt with him. And so look, we can expect hopefully that deal to be wrapped up later on the weekend or early next week. I'd be a bit concerned if it was pushing towards the end of next week or the week after that, because obviously we want him training with the team as well. Another one that obviously De Jong, been update from everyone, especially Romano as well, again coming out saying that everything's been agreed with Barcelona, as it has obviously been, but it seems that we've upped our price a little bit more on what we're guaranteed to pay Barcelona. But what's holding up the deal is he's owed 17 million euros from Barcelona in wages, and he's not willing to budge until then. Look, I don't want to get involved in that, but something surely we've known for a while. That's probably why we've been communicating. Barcelona, I don't really know how they're getting through whatever they're getting through with their financial restrictions and whatnot. Buying Rafinha, about to get Lewandowski, and the other players they've got from Chelsea as well. And they can't pay 17 million euros. I don't know what's happening with that, but what I do feel in that regards, if we can't get him over the line by next week, end of next week, I would probably look to start moving on and getting other targets that we're looking at in the centre midfield department. We can't have this drag on till deadline day. Obviously, the transfer window is still open when the season starts. Yes, he knows Ten Hag, but he hasn't played there for a few years, so getting up to scratch and up to par take another couple of weeks, and we can't afford that with a slow start to the season. We need all the points we can get if we hopefully try challenge to get into that top 4 spots this year again. So yeah, look, hopefully they can get over the line in the next few days, but see what happens in that regards. Another thing, obviously, got coming up as well is Martinez talking. Oh, give me a sec. What else are we talking about? Yeah, so we've got a few more games, obviously, coming up underway as well in Melbourne, as well as Perth over the next few days. We got Crystal Palace, Melbourne victory tonight, and then later on next week we've got Aston Villa before we head home to play a few more games back in Manchester. Atletico Madrid, and there was another team, but I'm having a mental blank on that. So yeah, what I'm hoping to see moving forward, obviously we talked about a few more signings coming in, hopefully. Next week, Martinez and Ericsson would be nice. Um, Hopefully De Jong by the back end of next week, and that takes us into the last week of preseason before, well, a week or two before the season starts to get the whole signings integrated. Now, currently, as things stand, we technically haven't fully signed Martinez as per Manchester United just yet, even though everything is leading that way. We've sold Pereira, and obviously Malasia's come in. Our net spend is duck eggs, zero. Um, yeah, it's not great for this rebuild that we're looking to talk about. Um, yeah, we're expecting a lot more things to obviously happen, and this is why I think Ronaldo is still holding back on coming out saying he's here with us for another year. I do think he's playing. Obviously, the reports came out where he got turned down this stupid money of 250 million or something over 2 years from a Saudi Arabian team. He was never going to leave Manchester United for money. It was always going to be about trophies. Even though he said he'd love to play with his son one day before he retires. So yeah, he's not about to go waste a year or two of his life playing in Saudi Arabia. No offense to the people in the Middle East, but he was still the joint third top goal scorer in the Premier League last year. It's not someone that's going to... And he's made more than enough money in his time. I don't think football's about the money for him, even though he does quite well off it. But yeah, I think what's going to happen with Ronaldo is he's going to stay. Chelsea have come out saying, look, they're not interested in him. Barcelona obviously is still up in the air whether or not that's going to happen. Real Madrid have ruled themselves out. He's quickly running out of options. Obviously, there's talks of Bayern Munich as well. Especially if Lewandowski does go, he could plug that hole until they find that solution moving forward. Obviously, a bit of a slower pace in the German league, which would probably suit him. And obviously, being that target man, exactly kind of the mold that Lewandowski was, would probably suit the way that they use him as a focal point at Bayern Munich. But obviously, let's see what happens with that. And yeah, a few more games. Looking forward to tonight's game against Melbourne Victory. And then, yeah, hopefully Ten Hag's system starts kicking off a bit more and we start to see exactly what it's about. Not this one game that we had under Ragnick a couple of months ago when he took interim manager charge of Manchester. And hopefully we can kick on to better things. And yeah, it's exciting. A few transfers in. Positive result against Liverpool. And yeah, playing in my home country at the moment. So yeah, things are looking bright, and I look forward to seeing how the week transpires in regards to transfers and results and everything like that. Thank you for joining me again for another episode. Please like and subscribe down below. Obviously, message or comment if you want to bring anything up into future shows moving forward. And yeah, thank you very much for joining in. See you guys later. Bye.